Okay, we're back for our last session. In this last session, we'll be looking at some of the characteristics of the followers. Now, there are two major characteristics of followers that influence the process, the leadership process, basically, I can put it that way. One is the respect for authority. The other one is the personal, interpersonal trust. Now, when it comes to respect authority, we say that those people who respect authority are more, authority figures, and who have a more trusting nature, are less challenging to lead, more is than people who disregard the authority and are suspicious of others. So I would say that from my personal experience, compared to other countries, people in America are more respectful of the authority because your rights are more protected in America compared to other countries, especially in the countries like China or African countries, Asian countries, South Americans. These people, when you go there, see that they don't trust their leaders because of so much corruption and other things that cannot, that create that distrust. I'm not saying that Americans trust their leaders 100%. As you can see from the experience we are having from this COVID-19 vaccine, many people have made statement that they don't trust the vaccine and they don't trust the way the government is pushing them to have it, something like almost like an executive order. But compared to in America, you're right, you have freedom of speech. And I've seen people coming on TV, criticize the government without anything happening to them. You can't try that in China. Okay. I don't know if many of you know, there's one big time business man. He is the founder of Alibaba. Alibaba is like Amazon for China, Once he challenged the Chinese government, he just disappeared. We don't see him anymore. I don't see him on CNBC and business news anymore. He was really sanctioned. How about the latest one? This tennis player, this young lady that plays, I think he plays either table tennis or lawn tennis. I forgot her name. One Chinese player. He accused one retired Chinese top government official that he was harassed, sexually harassed by that politician, and he disappeared till today. Nobody have seen her. Because of that, the United States is boycotting the Chinese Olympics because of her. Now, this is something I have seen happen here in America every day. People criticize and say that this government official have harassed them sexually and they were sent to jail or lose their job. But you don't try that in China. So now I have seen people that in the United States that I would say the freedom of speech, your right is protected. I have seen people sue the government to court and won, and they are paid, compensated. You can't try that in China. So that's why we use, when we talk about freedom of speech, civil rights, human rights, protection, and of course, rule of law. We use places like United States and Britain and France, Germany. I'm talking about modern day Germany as a model of things like that. Anyway, back to what we are saying now. But generally, I mean, I say this in comparison to China or Russia. You cannot criticize Russian government. If you're in Russia, you can't criticize Russian government. You'll be in big trouble. So compared to Russia and China and some African, most African countries and most South American countries, people here are more respect for authority figures. The one they do in China is not respect, it's fear. It's fear. Or in Russia, it's fear. That's not respect. It's fear. But here they have more respect. They're more easy to lead because you know that your right is protected. Now, but inside United States as a country or inside Britain or inside Germany, there's a decline. There's a general decline in level of trust that employees have for their leadership. Now, so in other words, people tend to withhold trust because of many reasons. One can be the breakdown in the traditional family structure. That can be one of the reasons. The family structure in advanced countries like United States, Britain, Germany, France become fragmented. So we don't have that what they call the extended family system is not as strong as it is in Africa or some developing countries. So that can be one of the reasons that the decline in trust. Another one is the decline in the wide range of social structures, things like schools, places of worship, and neighborhood. They don't have that kind of power, that kind of deterrence effect they had before. I remember somebody was telling me that in the 70s, US families are more together than they are now. But now it's more of individualism, that time somebody in the neighborhood is like almost, it takes like the whole neighborhood to raise a child, but it no longer is the case today. Another reason is with this decline in trust for the authorities can be the case after case in which highly visible and influential leadership figures are discovered violating the trust that have been given. One good example is I've seen some. Let me use the example of this man that I think I forgot his name, and as a matter of fact, his girlfriend is being tried now for I won't call it sexual harassment. She was acting almost like a pimp for her billionaire boyfriend who owned a lot of businesses. I forgot her name, and I'll look it up again. Maybe in next lecture I will tell you who he is. How about this one? The sport doctor. He's a doctor that he worked for a university, and he checked all these athletes for university. He checked their, he was their doctor. Yeah, I'll say he checked, he checked their health status before they, make sure that they are in good the health status is good before they can go and compete for that college. But eventually it was found out that many people were complaining that he was molesting them sexually. Let me show you the data I'm talking about, this one. So I'll use this link. Use this link to show you what am I talking about now. Yeah. Just 1 minute. Okay. So Michigan failed to act on warning sign as the doctor molested athletes for decades. See, it's got a doctor right here. So he was sent to jail. I believe he was sent to jail for that. So when you see authority figure like this doing that, it decreases the level of trust and the leadership. How about some politicians who were involved in bribery and corruption? Like there's one mayor of Detroit at the time. He was convicted, indicted, and convicted for corruption, and he went to jail. And I mean, somebody who was given that kind of trust to be the mayor of the city. I think it was Detroit. Either Detroit or Chicago, one of those cities. So let me see if I can pull it up. Mayor that went to go. Okay. The mayor was convicted. Okay, the mayor convicted. Okay. See this? See this? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. See this mayor here? See? Madam S. Barrett, the former Washington mayor, was arrested and convicted on a drug possession charge. See? This is just one of them. There are many other cases. Detroit mayor. Okay. Detroit mayor convicted. Okay, let me see. Yep, see. So Kwame Malik Kirkpatrick, this mayor, he was convicted. Let me pull it up. That's him right here. Let me show you the photo. See? So he was convicted of corruption. So when people like this, people in the public servants like this became guilty of things like that, it reduces the level of trust that people have on their leaders. That can you know cause them to or contribute to the general decline in the level of trust employees have for their leadership. Now, there are other things that sometimes employees might have good leaders and they respond well by giving them the quality service. Sometimes they might also have bad leaders or leaders that rule them like taskmaster. Let me put it this way. For attitude toward authority has also been changing in Western society, especially even in the United States as well. For example, in the past, we have that the leader working as a taskmaster who dishes out punishment if you don't comply with his directive or her directive. But eventually, it was found that that method of leadership doesn't really work all the time. So over the years, employees now in reaction have formed unions and protest so that if a leader cannot victimize an employee, if a leader wants to do any maybe firing or any kind of punishment, it has to be within the law. Otherwise, the union will come in. We have now almost every profession have unions now these days. We have union of teachers, we have police, fraternal order of the police, and so on and so forth. As a matter of fact, during the time we had, I remember the time when the vaccine for COVID was was built. Now they were asking some teachers to go back to classrooms, but they were still scared of the virus. Of getting the virus. So now the government in some states wanted to compel them to go back. But their union, teachers union, was so very powerful and strong, was able to, protect them from that, from being forced into the classroom. Yeah. So we have, this is the way that followers react. They don't trust, they distrust the government or their leader. It causes them to take action in different ways. One of the ways, like I said, one of them is union. So they have organized unions to represent their interests. And then, of course, we also have some level legislation that were enacted to protect workers from arbitrary firing or mistreatment. Now, Now, like I said, in the past, leaders is like, being a leader means like being a taskmaster that ruled with strong arm and can punish the followers or the subordinates if they fail to respect the leader, or if they fail to follow others. In some cases, they can even threaten with dismissal or other type of punishment. Now, the research has found out that that method does not always work. As a matter of fact, management have also learned that people who feel oppressed in that way usually respond in a negative way. They can just go on strike. They can slow down production, or they can just be turning out poor quality products, or just being totally uncooperative. So that kind of poor tactics in the past doesn't work anymore. Today leaders know that it doesn't make sense to threaten employees with dismissal or any kind of punishment. But the one that works better these days is motivating employees to do their best. So with this approach, the leader that adopt the approach would be as like a facilitator or some kind of teacher, as opposed to being an enforcer or disciplinarian. So now, by motivating them, of course, you use carrot and stick. That doesn't mean that you allow everybody to every subordinate to do as they like. They still, you have to, whatever you do it within the limit of the rule of the of the game. Don't go beyond. I mean, you have to. It's something that can be done with common sense. Let me put it that way. Now, with this approach, the leaders that believe in motivation, they can get good response from their followers, and in terms of reliable efforts and loyalty to the leader, put that way. And then, which lead us to what they call situational factors. I've already given an example of this at the beginning of the lecture tonight. But on this, the way a leader approaches, say, the situational approach to understand leadership is comprehensive in its recognition of the nature of leaders, followers, and situation. Basically, what it is saying is this, that leaders and followers can change their behavior, and each situation is unique and have its own unique requirement. So I've already explained this using several examples. I used Mandela, I used Hitler, and I also used Bin Laden. Who else do I use? Gandhi. So in other words, like I said, it means that leaders and followers can change their behavior, and each situation has its own requirement and needs. So now, in this kind of scenario, the challenge then becomes what is the kind of approach to be used for various situations. So the best way to approach it now is that each leader must assess the situation at hand in order to choose the appropriate style of leadership that can be used. Now, think of a nuclear power plant, for example, where safety is a concern. In that situation, you use more of a directive approach of leadership. Stringent rules. You can't help it because any mistake there can cost a lot of lives. So in that case, the leaders in that kind of scenario use more directive approach. Now, in a grocery store, for example, that one doesn't. The safety situation is not as high. It's not as big a problem as it is in the nuclear power plant. In that case, you might use more of a democratic style of leadership. So each situation dictates what method that can be used, or what leadership style that can be used. That's basically what this is saying, which leads us to the different kind of intelligence. Now, when we talk about intelligence, what are we trying to say? Well, intelligence simply means the cognitive ability or the ability to perform some tasks. We have two types of them. We have the crystallized intelligence. Now, here, what we are looking at here is the ability to utilize skills and knowledge that are acquired from in the past. Okay? Skill that knowledge that you acquire in the past, the ability to use them. We call it crystallized intelligence. Okay. Now, and because we keep acquiring new knowledge every day, the crystallized intelligence increase over time. So it's a good example. When you recall, if you can recall the historical events and dates, or remember geographical location where you have visited before, or building one's vocabulary, or reciting poem, by rote method. So this, like I said, in this type of intelligence, one has the ability to use skills and knowledge they acquire in the past to achieve their goal. Now, there's another type, I forgot to highlight it here. It's called fluid intelligence. Fluid intelligence. This one means the ability to reason and solve problems in unique and novel situations. So it doesn't have to recall, just your ability to solve problems in different situations, like solving crossword puzzles, constructing strategies to deal with new problems, and so on and so forth. So now, what is the difference then? Well, for the crystallized intelligence, you are recording stored knowledge. So, but for fluid intelligence, is basically have to do with your understanding, your reasoning, and problem solving skill. But crystallized intelligence is about using the knowledge that you have in the past as a guide, So which leads us to the final stage, which is the different kind of intelligence. Oh, I've already explained this. So let's go to the next one. So the key point on intelligence, the key point here is this. It is multidimensional, which means that it involves convergent thinking, where one answer is the correct answer. And it also involves divergent thinking, where more than one answer are correct answers. So according to the published evidence, there is a positive relationship between intelligence and other concerns: physical health, economic well-being, school success, life satisfaction, and leadership effectiveness. So all these things it's a positive relationship between intelligence and other concerns. So intelligence and these factors goes hand in hand. Physical health, economic well-being, school success, life satisfaction, and leadership effectiveness, they go hand in hand with intelligence. I mean, meaning that if you're intelligent, you want to maintain your health. That means you eat healthy food, exercise, and so on and so forth. And economic well-being, of course, you have to work hard, save, invest. School success, you have to read, crack the books. So all these things go hand in hand with intelligence. Now let's see what the last slide will tell us. Now, multiple intelligence and successful leadership, very, very important. So in plain terms, multiple intelligence is very, very relevant for successful leadership. So that means people do have strength in several different kinds of intelligence. There are people who are very good at solving maths. So there are people who are very good in making clothes. So it varies. So when need for leadership arises in your area of strength, then you can capitalize on that strength to be successful as a leader. So a few key points before we round up. A few key points. Now, subject matter expertise is needed to solve problems and make good decisions. And this has to do with intelligence. So if you have relevant expertise, that means you are intelligent enough to gather that kind of expertise. And that will help you to build a team, set the right goals, and achieve the right results. So I'll give an example with Bill Gates here. He's in the field of the technology. And of course, like you know, he's a billionaire. He's the founder of I would say Windows and so many other things that he founded. That his company makes. So he knows that intelligence isn't one size fits all. So, and he built his career on logic and mathematical skill. Like I said, he believes so much in intelligence, and I believe intelligence too. The good intelligence, you can enjoy those advantages that I listed in the previous slides. Any question for me?
No.
Okay. Now, like I said, this class we have only three research papers. The rest of the week will be test and discussion. The test, just like the one we did last week. Multiple filling the gaps. So read the PowerPoint, read the chapters, take the test. I'm not going to ask what we didn't cover in class. So read, and then you should be fine. And so you can begin your research paper today if you still have time. And remember, don't write less than at least 2 pages. Okay. Now somebody was asking me before I take your attendance. Somebody was asking me a question before we were timed out.
It was me, Professor. I actually was letting you know that I actually ordered my books on January the 7th, but for whatever reasons, financial aid had not applied my money to my account. So that meant that the bookstore didn't send my stuff out. And I spoke to Ms. Rochester earlier today and Ms. Hines. They ended up straightening it out. And Ms. Rochester explained to me that I should receive my book within the next day or two. I did the best on what I could do with what was there. But the only thing that I did was I did the quiz and I did the introduction of myself. It was something else that you had on there, like that we had to do a discussion on. And I wasn't able to complete that.
Don't worry. This is just the first week. Keep doing your best. We still have more discussion coming, okay?
Okay, because when I was gonna drop the class and I talked to Mr. Nana in the advising office and he told me don't drop it.
Yeah, just think, don't hyperventilate yet. We still have a lot of time. Keep doing your best, okay?
All right, I just wanted to make sure because like I said, I sent you an email, but I didn't know whether or not you received it or not.
I've checked my emails. I think I saw that email. But I know that we are going to meet in the class today, so that's why I usually like to take care of things like this in the class. I don't know, no need to panic.
All right, well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So don't go. Let me take your names, the attendance. So you're Kenya, right? Kenya.
Yes. Professor, I have a question as well.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So for the test, do we get 2 attempts or just 1? Because in your
2 attempts. I saw that email. I think. Are you sure it's not for your computer? Because I made it 2 attempts.
No. I took a screenshot of it. I forgot to attach it. but on the actual canvas, it says 1, but in your writing, like the text you wrote, it said 2, but it only gave me 1. Because you know,
Same here.
I'm very sure I make it. You know what? This is just the first test. This other one, I was. What browser do you use? Are you using
I use the Chrome, like for all my other
Chrome usually does that. Try Firefox next time. Next one. Chrome usually does that sometimes.
Okay.
And also, all the clear all the catches before you take the test, so that it doesn't stop all this, block all these things.
I understand what you're saying, but in Canvas, it said like the instruction was 1 attempt, but your verbiage said 2. So I took a screenshot of it.
I think I made it 2. In any case, it's 2. So the one you're having next will be 2. So for next one, try use Firefox. Don't use Chrome.
I will, but I'm just telling you what Canvas said. Canvas said 1.
It could be a typo. I'll go and change that.
Okay.
Yes, I had the same problem.
So in that case, I'm glad both of you are here. So try use Firefox. All the tests, I'll make them 2 chances.
Okay. And then also, because I was only allowed to do 1, I had some issues with like 2 of the questions. When I went back to our PowerPoints and the book, I answered them correctly. I don't.
Are you sure? Because I went through those questions very carefully before I put it there.
All right. So for example, like the leadership style that is characterized by individual control over all decisions and little input from group members is called authoritarian.
Yeah.
That's what I typed.
Now the answer I got was autocratic leadership.
It's the same thing.
Is it okay?
I can't comment on this one because it's a test.
I got it wrong too.
That means that it's correct.
But I'm asking you to go back, if you can go back and like maybe review it, because autocratic and authoritarian, they're interchangeable in our notes in the stuff. I'm just asking if you could just go back and look.
I'll look, no problem.
I'm sorry, I put the autocratic and it gave me it wrong too.
So can you?
Yeah, I had that same issue as well. I had that same issue with my test as well.
I will look, but I will look at it, but I can't comment because it's a test, so I can't say the answer.
That's fine. That's fine if you can't. But if you can just
wasn't it due already? Shouldn't have everybody already?
We have 10, less than 7 minutes left.
Okay.
Let me check. Let me take your attendance. Well, so I got this. Hi, Binta. Okay, Binta. I got Binta here.
Yes.
So, how come? Hold on, Binta. Let me write this down.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. So you can go now. Giselle, how you say her last name?
Yombi.
Yombi. Your name sounds familiar somehow.
Maybe.
Have you been at the math lab?
Yes. Yes, Professor. I can't hear you.
That's where I had this name before there. When I used to be a tutor there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's where we met.
We have next one is Ariel. Ariel, you there? Ariel.
Yes, I'm here, Professor.
I got your name now, so you can have a nice night. Who else am I missing?
You too. Thanks.
I got India here. I got Kenya. Got you now, so you can with them. Jones, Tema Jones.
I'm here.
Jones, I got you. Sky.
It's Pittman, but I'm here.
Yes, I wrote it beside your name. Last time when I called you last class, that's why you told me that you are Pittman. So I put it beside your name.
Thank you. I'll try to change it.
No problem. Devon Britton. Devon.
Yeah, I'm here.
Then, well done. So I got
I'm here.
everybody. I got everybody. So you guys have a nice night.
You too. Thank you.
too. Professor, I have a question.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Sir, this is Tamar. Yeah, so if I say try crank it again. If classes were to go in person,
I can't hear you, Miss.
hold on one moment.
What's your name?
Tamar.
What's your name?
It's Tamar.
Oh, Timur. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was wondering, I work on these days, so I initially applied for a virtual course, but I don't know if classes are going to go back to in person. But I was still trying to do virtual, like with this course. So I was trying to figure out how is that going to go.
You mean this one?
Yes.
Well, this one, I don't. Nobody know yet because of this COVID thing. Is this?
Yeah.
So nobody. I can't give you a good answer now because of this COVID. Nobody really know. Yeah.
No, on the website it says classes are going back in person, but I applied for it to be virtual. So I don't know if they switched it to virtual. I mean to in person for me, but I applied for virtual, and I can't. Like I might not be able to make the classes on Wednesday since the time that I work may overlap that, and I'm still trying to. I'm trying to continue the course even if it goes back to in person.
Can I just say something to you? Miss Wendy Harris sent us an email and said that we will not be going back in person. This class is virtual for this course.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Okay. Oh, okay. See, she Miss Kenya. She knows some powerful people in the school. They gave her inside information.
So
Okay,
the only last thing I needed to know was whether or not you're going to go back and check those 2 questions that she was talking about, because I think a lot of us got those 2 questions wrong, but they should have been right.
I'll check it, but I was very careful when I was putting those questions together. So
Okay.
I'll still check it though.
So I guess my question is, will they be marked wrong if you don't input the answer you want us to put in there?
Yeah, if you don't put the answer, if you don't put the correct answer, it will mark wrong, of course. Sure.
Oh, but the problem that we're all having is we put the correct answers, but they were marked wrong. Were you looking for a different answer?
If you put the incorrect answer, it will mark it wrong.
One of the questions.
So they are telling me that, but they have these 2 questions. They believe that the answer is correct, but when I will check it and see what is wrong with there. But
Okay.
I didn't make a mistake when I was putting the questions together.
Okay.
All
It
right.
might not be
So
you, Professor.
can
It might be
you
Canva.
send me the name of the questions? It says 2 of them. Let me look at it.
You want me to send you the screenshot? I have the screenshot, Professor.
My
This is
email.
Binta.
You know my email, right?
Yeah, I sent you that email before about these 2 questions. I can send you the screenshot and the questions as well.
You wrote the 2 questions in the email, right?
I can not that email, but I can send you another one
Yeah,
with them in
please
there.
do.
Yeah, because it might not be you, Professor. It may be Canva glitch sometimes. So
I was very careful when I was there. So just send it. Let me see. Let me see. If it is that, then I will just give you the grade, the point.
okay.
But if it's wrong, I won't give you the point. Sorry about that.
It's fine. I went back and looked at the notes, and according to your notes, the answers I put was correct. And a lot of the classmates having the same issue with the same 2 questions. So I wonder.
Just send it to me then.
Okay.
So we're about to be timed out. So if you don't, I will see you guys next Wednesday.
All right. Have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Have a great night.